Hello. I'm going to talk to you about the 5 big reasons why we're all here. So you might not agree with all these, but you're quite welcome to swap out some of these things for some things of your own. But for me, reproducing the future generations, reproduction, number one. You can't really get around it. It's our link to immortality. It sort of defines us and keeps us going. Then you have 2, earning or making a living. 3, consumption, spending that money. 4, relationships or sharing. And then 5, new or pleasurable experiences. So I'm going to talk to you a bit about these 5. The first reason for me, as I said before, is reproduction. It's a pretty tried and tested reason for us mere mortals to exist, and it's the only viable solution to the mortality problem. Without any more future generations of people, we wouldn't be around very often. Like within 100 years, the planet would be completely gone. There'd be no more people if we didn't reproduce anymore. But don't get me wrong, this is not just the business end of having sex, but the entire process of meeting the right potential partner, falling in love, making a relationship work, then having kids and raising them into independent human beings. It's a 20-year gig at least, especially if you're having more than one because of the overlap. It could be a 22, a 25-year deal, 30-year deal, 40-year deal for some people. They have 5 or 6 kids. Even if things don't work out with your partner as well in the long run, you're still on that track. You've got to do your bit, and there's no getting away from it. The second and third reasons of making and spending the money can be interchanged, i.e., some prefer to spend their money before they've earned it and go into debt, and that's becoming pretty much the vast majority. Whereas my preference is to earn or make the money first and buy things out of my own cash, which is just a lot more satisfying for me and lower cost overall. I've never liked the feeling of buying something with somebody else's money and having to pay them back the interest and being in debt. I just don't like the feeling of being in debt. But unless you are born into wealth with sufficient passive incomes to support your lifestyle without the need for paid employment, you'll have to earn an income. Then by investing your surplus funds, make enough money to save for retirement and also hopefully live a healthy, sustained lifestyle beforehand. However, before we can spend the money, we must be taxed, unless you run a company and get it paid in arrears. Of course, there will be opportunities to minimise, defer or avoid tax legally, but not evade. Of course, most of you will take on some form of debt in the form of home loans. So you've got mortgages, your car finance, or some people call it EHP, hire purchase. You've got your personal borrowings or overdrafts for the businesses as well, which you might be using a large overdraft account every month, which can soon get out of control. However, by maintaining a low set of overheads and constantly seeking reductions in costs, you can actually get ahead, because you are creating an imbalance between your outgoings and your income, especially if the perceived benefits of the high-priced goods and services are not sufficient to justify the expense of them. Like, I have simple tastes, so it's like, yeah, you might have lots and lots of money. I just like going out bike riding and stuff, and bike riding is pretty cheap. You might have to buy some new tyres for your bike or something, some new tubes. I like travelling, but when I'm out there, I'm not going on package holidays and staying in 5-star places all the time. I'm backpacking. I've got a backpack and I just go around. And probably, like say, if I'm travelling in Asia, I'm probably making more money than if I was at home. It's that cheap just to stay out there and backpack around. So next, the fun bit that we all love is consumption. So we've got some money from somewhere, now we can do some consumption with it. And just deciding what our cash and savings can be spent on, i.e. goods, services, property, possessions and travel. The quality of these activities is the key to living a happy life, and in doing so create a worldwide economy for others to also earn their living, prosper and grow. This is essentially the perpetual money go around. Although I'm not condoning this system necessarily, it is a status quo, and for all its flaws, no one has found a better model than good old capitalism. Although many of the other forms of government still chiefly exist, such as communism, they are slowly sliding into quasi-capitalism, even without conscious political decision being made. Now, we get onto the most exciting parts, relationships and new experiences, which is 4 and 5. They are both inexorably tied together, but perversely often come at the cost of one another in the short term. but one without the other would just be soulless. Like having money without being able to spend it, just like a crippled billionaire who can't really enjoy his wealth because he's stuck in a wheelchair. And that's why we have friends and maintain family relationships, so we can have people to share our experiences with. And we could not feel fulfilled ourselves, and also would not learn about alternative opportunities for growth if they didn't tell us about their experiences as well. Relationships can come in different forms, but this is not just someone you added as a friend on Facebook, but a person, whether partner, friend, or family, who has had or is having and continues to have an effect on your life, whether it be good or bad. Whereas experiences are events, alternative practices, travel, or other things that happen that are usually intangible and occur during our lives. The point being that if we do the same things over and over, we get very dull and boring, which may by default have an effect on our current relationships and also limit our potential for new ones in the future. It's worth saying that not all our relationships or experiences are healthy or good for us, and logically we should seek to avoid bad relationships or experiences in the first place and end poor quality relationships with partners or friends sooner rather than later. Just in closing, our depth and range of experiences in life, so the depth and range of experiences in life for each of us, it's only limited by our own preconceived conceptions of the construct. Inhibitions as well, they limit us, and also what we might see as being right and wrong limit us again, and also just at the end of the day what we think is good or bad for us, or what people we think are good or bad for us. Sometimes you've got to make tough decisions to learn new things, such as when you maybe don't like someone so much but you feel there's a strong connection somehow, it's worth investing in a few coffees with that person and learning a bit about them and what makes them tick and why they've had success. And maybe rather than looking for people that are always like yourself, you find people that are a bit different to you and learn from them and pick up new traits and new ways of thinking that you would never have been able to do if you're just always hanging out with your childhood friends or just your family people. Okay, I'll leave it at that. Thanks very much for listening. See you next time. And by the way, have a look on Amazon. I'm regularly promoting 50 Bits of Bull. Get it in ebook, get it in soft copy, paperback as well. It's a great little present for birthdays and Christmas, especially if someone likes a bit of a joke and a bit of fun. Thank you. Bye.